Good evening, everyone. My name is Laura Schifrin, and I am calling the meeting of the Select Board to order of April 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m.
Veronica Cal present.
Laura Schifrin present. Nelson Yu and Assistant Administrator in Serena with us. Would you all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have a pretty full agenda tonight. The meeting is being recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. There's somebody else here, but is there anybody else online that is recording?
Hi. From Tom Nashville, so I'm just waiting for Gail. She should be here.
Okay.
Oh, for tasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
No one else is saying online that they're recording. 125, review and approve the meeting minutes for
You skipped one.
additions and deletions. I don't have any additions or deletions. I will just be moving.
I have something on here.
I'm sorry.
The Roselli contract.
Okay, deletion 4.4, contract with Roselli and Clark for auditing services for 25-26 fiscal year.
Yeah, we're not, that contract is not ready for you guys to vote on yet. So just pushing it to.
Okay. We just say for the April 19th meeting? Are we having a meeting on April 19th?
No, I don't think so. I didn't think we were.
Okay, so I'm just deleting that for tonight,
Okay.
and we'll deal with whatever comes after that. The only thing I wanted to change was 4.
Could I just ask if the other deletion was the Memorial Hall policy? Did that come in?
It did.
Okay, so we're not deleting that.
No, and I have it.
Okay,
And
good.
I reviewed it.
All right.
Now I just want to take the warrant article for us to review as the last item.
So
moving
4.3.
4.3 will go to the end of our agenda.
Okay.
So that may become. All right, I'm good with that. It's going to become 5.4. 4.3 will be 5.4. So 1.5, we have received minutes and motion.
I move to accept the minutes for 3/11/2025. It says with the changes as noted, but I have changes to add as well.
Okay.
So I don't know where the noted changes are. So.
It's on the SharePoint now. Oh, you don't know what they were, but they were all, there was nothing substantive. It was just more the was put in, or a was put in, or at, or a comma, or a word was changed.
Okay.
And I don't have that in italics or anything, or bold.
Okay, I have a couple of changes here under the joint meeting with the Board of Health. And just that if a flat fee is decided on, it will need to be rounded up. And
I didn't know what that was. I had 2 questions and I couldn't figure out.
And then the other one was, I don't understand what this means. The least expensive override would be 480,000 of no trash. Any trash
with no trash.
It says of. I don't know. I would strike that line. I don't know what that means. So I would strike that sentence completely. Everything else I'm good with.
Okay. Okay.
Do you want me to give you this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, entertain a motion?
I thought we did move. I move to approve the meeting minutes of 3/11/2025 with the changes
you
as
did.
noted.
That's what you said. I second.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion?
No.
No, okay, roll call.
Veronica Kelly, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. Sabrina, Veronica. So, do we have-
Oh, wait,
Okay.
this is what I need to give to Sabrina.
605, one-day special license application alcohol by TASA for fundraiser event on May 4th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the one-day special license application for alcohol by TASA for the Golathon fundraiser event on 5/4/2025 with rain date of 5/18/2025 from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. with serving times from noon to 4 p.m.
Now, second. Do you want to speak? Okay.
Do you have any questions?
We
for us?
have this whole packet.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Any discussion?
No, I've just been looking for, this wasn't all on SharePoint. To go through. So I thought I saw the certified servers or whatever the word for that is.
The tips card?
Yes, yes.
I
yes.
have it. If you don't have a copy, I could get you one.
It's in there now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That was the only thing I was looking for when I looked through this before. Pardon me?
License condition?
The noon to 4, those sorts of conditions. Is that what you're talking about? And the wine and malt only? I was okay with that.
You have the wrong folder.
I have the one.
You have the folder. Where is the second one?
I have.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's a folder now that she.
You want to look at it?
Yeah, that's what we have to sign. Do you want to trade me?
Yeah, I can just trade it for you. Standard.
I thought it was. I have the official one. I think you
Oh,
and
you
I need,
have the-
I have the official one. I
Oh.
think that's why she thought I had yours. Want to trade me?
Sure, there's another one here to sign.
Yeah, it's on the back here. Let me give you this.
Oh,
It's probably this.
this one?
It's this.
Yeah, just want.
Yeah, the ones with the yellow are the to be signed.
believe the tips thing here.
Yes, it's in here. I went through these, I guess it was yesterday, and everything wasn't in. Maybe it was the night before. This is Tuesday. I usually do it Sunday night.
I think these were just up there 5, 6 hours.
Yeah.
A little bit behind. Sabrina, was this in the SharePoint packet or is it?
It wasn't, I thought I had put it in, but it wasn't. That's what it was.
Oh, you plopped it into
Yeah.
SharePoint. Okay.
So these,
I'm good with these.
yeah, me too.
All right. I already made the motion, right? I have no additional,
Did you second the motion?
conditions.
I second the motion
Okay, and then there's discussion.
for the documents now. We have. Should I give you back the papers? Sign?
No, I gave them to you. You have them. They have a
No.
yellow.
It's right here.
Oh, right here, because they were in front of me. Right in front of me. All right.
Are you guys aware of the conditions?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, then.
All right.
roll call.
Veronica Cal, yes.
And Laura Schiffern, yes. Okay, so we can sign now for them.
Yes.
Should we sign? Okay. Do they get a copy of it? Or?
Yes, but I.
I can go now to get it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have plenty of time to get it a different day. There's no problem with that.
I can do it right now.
No problem. Well, Go to.
I think these are switched.
The dates? I noticed that too.
Okay, so
But-
I'm gonna go with the chief's letter.
Correct.
So I'm gonna change what's on here.
I noticed that too. Well, when you make the motion, make it.
I'll just make it correct, yeah.
So we're at 3.1.
Andrew Romano is 504. All right, the I'm updating what was in the, on the agenda based on what's in Chief Sartell's letter to us.
Mhm.
All right,
Okay, so 3.1.
3.1, I move to appoint Nicholas Hemley as probationary full-time police officer to the police department with an effective start date of May 5th, 2025.
Second. Any further discussion?
No. Veronica Kell, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. 3.2.
I move to appoint Andrew Romano as probationary full-time police officer to the police department, effective start date May 4th, 2025.
And a second. Any discussion?
No.
Hearing none. Roll call.
Veronica Kell, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes. One.
Are we gonna show?
Street green
Right.
contract.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was fun.
Have a good fundraiser.
Hopefully the weather's better.
Yes.
So yes, this was a grant that Erin had worked on before she left. We did get the grant. So now we just need to sign the contract with the state so we can get started on the work. This is actually widening the sidewalks along Brookline Street. Let me see if I can pull it off for you guys to see.
Are they redoing the bridge as well? I looked at this and it looked like it was just sidewalks.
It's a separate project. It gets kind of confusing because there's multiple grants and projects going on in that area.
Okay.
So let me see if I can.
It isn't a PowerPoint exactly. It's more of a
Yeah, it's a PDF.
PDF. Yeah.
So let's see if I can do this.
So it's in the area of Meadow Road
It's
and Route 13.
cross street. You know where the bridge with the iron rail that's kind of like really failed that's being replaced?
Yeah.
So that is
It's this way.
So
It's south, yeah. The bridge piece is, yeah. So this goes from just below Cross Street, so not quite to the not.
oh,
It starts further
used to walk
north
that.
from that bridge.
I used to walk that, and there is a sidewalk there, and it is very poor.
yep. So
Right.
there's some pictures here. So not only are we going to fix it, we're going to widen the sidewalk because I can't remember exactly what Erin said, but it's kind of not to pedestrian standards. You actually couldn't like really fit if someone was in a
Two people.
wheelchair.
Yeah, or
Or
even
walk.
2 people side by side. I know.
So I think the goal
It's more
was,
like a bike path.
yeah, I mean, it is technically a
Sidewalk.
sidewalk. It's just not wide enough for sort of to be used to its fullest. So what we would end up doing is widening the sidewalk and the travel lanes in both directions for vehicles will be narrowed. It's still within roadway standards. It's just a little bit narrower than what it currently is. So,
Well, how much are we talking, do you think? Is it just like 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 inches wider? Or is it a foot
They
wider?
show, you can see it, at the go to the current design, Route 13 at middle school entrance. Right now, it's, what does that say, 4.5?
correct.
And it's 16.5. So the redesign widens, but includes a strip for vegetation.
Yeah.
So it widens it to 7.5 feet. So you can fit multiple people or you could have a wheelchair and a person that compacts.
Yeah.
All right, so it's 7.5. They keep a vegetative strip, and then they narrow those lanes from 16 feet to 13 feet,
Oh, so,
the travel lanes on Route 13.
so 6 feet less.
Yeah,
6 feet.
yeah.
You went from 13.
Total, I guess.
16
actually-
total is
Yeah, it's more like
Right.
3.5 each, so 7 feet.
7.
So, but it's still more than wide enough for a vehicle, you know, it's just a little bit narrow. So it gives a little bit more space
Yeah.
to pedestrians. So we got this grant, so we're looking to sort of get started on it.
Can we look at, before you do that, I'd like to, okay, so where you are there, scroll it so that we can see at Meadow Road and at Cross Street, what happens. So this is the redesign at the Cross Street intersection, which is pretty much where the crosswalk is.
Yeah.
Again, it expands to 7 with the vegetated strip and 12 and 12. What it is now, if you go to the next one up there, it's 4.5, 2 feet, 13.5, 13.5. So you are gonna narrow the travel lanes for the vehicles by 1.5 feet on each side. And then I think it's at Meadow Road is the next one, going the other direction.
North.
So we're traveling north. Did they do Meadow? No. Well, this is where the crosswalk is at the pedestrian bridge. Keep the sign the same, newer. That's at the pedestrian bridge. Okay. So they don't do Meadow Road. Okay. So, but Cross and Meadow kind of look like that. All right.
So,
And that's not a matching grant or anything, it's a grant just to do this.
It's a complete streets grant.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
Reviewed the contract?
it's a standard contract from the state, so it's the only one the state will accept, so we couldn't even suggest a run if we wanted to. It's taken a little bit.
Is there a motion?
I move that we authorize the town administrator, Nelson Louis, to sign the Complete Streets grant contract on behalf of the select board.
Second. Any discussion?
No further discussion.
Okay, thank you. Vote.
Veronica Kell, yes.
Laura Schiffern, yes.
Hey, thank you to Erin. It would be really nice to get a list of all the grants that we have. She wrote for a lot of grants that were successful
She did, I
for the
think,
town.
well over, I haven't done a tally myself, easily over $500,000, if not $750,000.
I think it's more than that.
Yeah, because this one alone is, this one that you just authorized me, the amount is $470,000.
Right, and then there was $350 for the ADA playground. There's the extension for the harbor sidewalks. There's a lot.
And well, in that area on Brookline Street, there's the pedestrian bridge, they call it, the walk bridge.
Yeah.
That's another 100,000 just for the engineering and design.
Yeah, so I think it's over $1 million.
Yeah, that when you add it up, absolutely.
Well, hopefully, our new grant writer does just as well.
Kieran's really, I've been really happy with him. He has a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of juggling parts to some of these grants, and I think he's done very well. So.
Okay, 4.2, letter of support from the Neshoba Associates Board of Health.
I make a motion to authorize the town administrator, Nelson Louis, to sign and submit the letter of support for the Neshoba Associated Boards of Health on behalf of the select board.
And I'll second that. And I just noticed that, like on the second page, is that supposed to be Townsend built in on there?
Yeah, that's fine. So you want me to speak on this,
Yes.
Yes,
this letter of
yeah.
support? So, the Neshoba Associated Boards of Health, they're over here in the air. you know, we use them for a lot of our board health activities,
Right.
as well as, I think there's a nursing component where they do, you know, vaccines and flu shots and things like that. Like we are. So, it's a regional, resource that, a lot of our neighbors, use as well. So I guess in around the 2014 timeframe, the showbiz auditors, discovered, I guess, that they weren't, paying into the pension system because all the employees are actually part of the state pension system. So ever since 2014, they've been trying to figure out, how to pay for it, how much they owe. Is there opportunity for, some sort of abatement, given it's such a large amount that was undiscovered for many years? So they're working with local, representatives, senators to actually get a bill passed to, address that issue. So they're looking for letters
So
of
10 years, they've been
Yeah.
working on it and just getting to this point.
Yep, and there's no guarantee it's. But the letters of support would really help that. So I'll probably end up sending one to Representative Scarsdale, Senator Furman. Support to help ensure that associated with it.
So that is where this letter of support is going, to our representatives.
Correct.
and senators.
Yep.
Okay,
And top each initial one.
Yeah.
I'm good with this.
Okay, me too.
Veronica Kell, yes.
Your worship, and yes. All right. 4.4. Oh, we deleted 4.4. 4.5. First reading of West Townsend reading room policy. And I can't read the green. Deleted from agenda. No, but it's not.
No, that's
That
good.
was Memorial. That came in the time.
No, you're reading.
No, I'm reading the
you're-
reading room policy.
No, that green is up front.
Oh, I see. And then this,
Next time, don't do it green.
Yeah.
It's hard to read. Lighter green.
all right, so, okay, but so the next two, the first reading of West Townsend reading room policy. This was drafted by town council. This would be a first reading discussion, and possible changes to the draft are encouraged. Yes, I'm sure they will be. I'll read it.
All right.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure.
I can read it. That's policy number 03/2025. Replace policy number rules and regulations. The West Townsend reading room is available to any resident or group. Users may abide by all town policies, rules, and regulations and execute a rental application. The reading room is located at 264 Dudley Road, West Townsend, and can accommodate up to 37 people. It contains 6 long tables, 10 small square tables, folding chairs, kitchen with refrigerator, stove, microwave, and dishwasher, and restroom facilities. Rental fees are, and these have not been updated since before 2014. Can't find any increases. So I have an issue with that,
Okay,
but,
do we want to change them in this policy?
unless there's another place where you have all fees. and you want to direct it to just one fee schedule. Otherwise, it has to be in here.
I think it needs to be in here.
So we can discuss these after, and I'll continue with the reading.
Okay.
Smoking and animals are prohibited on the premises. And I have a question about that, as far as fair housing laws go, and, or if we should put in even parentheses after animals. This does not apply to federal service animals. Certified, however you say that, federally.
We could just say
certified service.
smoking and animals are prohibited on the premises. And animals with the exception of
Okay,
are prohibited. Okay.
now this would not be ESA. These would be actual service animals.
Right.
Okay, because this is just for a short period of time, rentals are, right, that for the room. A refundable cleaning deposit of $75 is required at the time of rental. All trash and belongings must be removed prior to vacating the premises. Failure to abide the town's rules and regulations or failure to return the room to the condition in which it was received will receive,
Resolved. It should be resolved.
yeah, in a forfeiture of the deposit. So result. And I'm okay with the way this reads versus the town hall policy, because this just calls it a cleaning deposit. Under insurance, all individuals, groups renting the space shall procure and maintain for the duration of the rental period insurance against claims for injuries to persons or damages to property which may arise from or in connection with the rental of the facilities and the activities of the renter, licensee, their guests, agents, representatives, employees, or subcontractors. Licensee agrees to maintain all necessary insurance to protect itself against claims relating to the use of the facilities. Licensee agrees to provide a certificate of insurance with coverage acceptable to the town prior to its use of the facility. User shall maintain general liability and a $1 million minimum limit and $2 million aggregate. The town shall be named as an additional insured on such insurance policy. No changes to this insurance may occur within 10 days notice of the town. Anyone wishing, and then the other is the application, or it's the second page of this? Okay, I think it's the second page. Anyone wishing to rent the reading room should call or email the select board's office. Phone number with the extension or selectboard@townsendma.gov. Please fill out and return a signed agreement with a check for the rental fee and the cleaning deposit made out to the town of Townsend. Okay, I'm okay with the rest of it now, except the fees.
So it says it's available to any Townsend resident or group. So out of towners wouldn't be able to rent it, is that my understanding?
Well, a
That's a good
nonprofit
question.
group could be someone that's out of town.
But the first sentence kind of already limits who can rent it, so I think that might need to be.
So do you want to go with or nonprofit?
Any Townsend resident or group. No, maybe we should just keep it like this, so it stays within town.
That's been like,
That's the way it's
It's a
been
small place,
always.
anyway,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a,
My question is on the hours. How many, it says each additional hour will be $10, but where is there an hour time limit?
it's 5 hours somewhere. afternoon.
Is it?
Is it in the town hall one maybe? Wait a minute, let's look at the other one. Jeez.
Oh,
the
rental
old
fee for private party, and then rental time is 5 hours. That's next to
Oh, that's what
private
that
party.
is. Yeah.
So maybe, but is the rental time 5 hours for all groups?
Yeah.
Then we need to pick that up and
Yeah.
put that somewhere else. It should be, rental time is 5, rental fees are
Yeah, separate line,
a separate line,
Mm-hmm.
rental time is 5 hours.
and then each additional is whatever we
Will be
decide.
$10, yeah.
Well,
Um,
I really think it should go to, for nonprofit groups renting more than twice a month. Fee for one-time monthly renters. Do we have people who use it twice a month?
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe we should just leave it as it is for now. The only thing I would change is the cleaning deposit of 75. I think that should be 100. Because if you have to clean it, I don't think you're gonna get someone to clean it for $75.
no, and really it should be double that. It really should be 150.
I would make it 100 just to keep in mind nonprofit groups who may not have, the funds. You get it back if you haven't, if you've cleaned up before you leave, you get it back.
Yeah, we don't actually cash the check.
No.
Right.
Yeah, and that's gotta change. No, why bother taking it?
Well, because usually you give it back.
We shred it, but it's not.
Right, you take it in case, if the people leave the building in the condition that it was in.
What makes you think the check's any good? If you don't know,
Well,
and then you're stuck with whatever damages. I mean, I would have the same thing about the town hall. Or the work of our facilities people to take care of it, and that's gonna cost more than a bounce check.
I think the
I'm
problem,
just being realistic.
I think the problem becomes, if you actually deposit the check and then you have to cut them a check afterwards if everything is okay. That's administrative work that the staff now need to do, and that's, it's not hours.
Can you take cash
I can, yeah.
and give a cash receipt? And then it goes in whatever box, and then you're not messing with the bookkeeping?
I don't think I mean, you could do that. I don't think it specifies, the form of payment here, does it? I don't remember seeing that.
No, we encourage the check because we can shred it afterwards.
The only change I would make is I would make the refundable cleaning deposit $100. Because if in fact you have to clean the building, you would keep that.
And it wouldn't pay for it. It wouldn't cover the cost to the town.
Probably not. Not in this day and age.
No, so here we are with our budget, and, well, we wanna cut, but then we wanna give away, and it could end up costing us a lot more money. I mean, nonprofits are used to having, to make deposits for events and stuff like that. So,
what do you suggest?
I think the cleaning should be at least 150. And I think the rentals are too low. But that's my opinion. And I think a check is worthless. That's only because I deal with it a lot. So,
Well, maybe we can compromise it. It'll still be a check, but, we increased the deposit to 125, and we up the fees, up for discussion what that ends up looking like. You're right, they, apparently they haven't changed these rates in like at least
10, it's
10
more than 10 years.
10 or 11 years.
It's been a long time.
It's a pretty good deal, I would say, certainly for a private party, 5 hours for $75, that's only $15 an hour.
Really, I mean, where are you gonna get a place for less than 25 an hour? I mean,
So-
it's nice for a small party. Where are you gonna go with like 30 people and be able to cook and serve and, have the bathrooms and have the parking
Mhm.
for your guests? That's cheap.
Even $100 for 5 hours is,
Cheap.
it is.
So we could change these then to
I think
what?
we should change them. I'm good with, for people that use it twice a month, and this is all the time, it's like $40 because
Well,
it's
let's-
twice a month,
Let's make it 35.
but then the one time a month nonprofits,
Make that 60,
75.
75.
And I really want the private party one to be,
Make that 100.
50. I said 150. You
Oh.
said 100.
I was talking about the cleaning deposit.
Oh, that too has to go up, but the rental fee for 5 hours for a private party, it's not a nonprofit. They're having a private party, $100. I mean,
Make it 125 then.
okay. And then the cleaning is gonna go to what?
125. And what about the hourly rate?
15?
Okay.
I've made all the notes on here, Sabrina, so we can have that done for the second reading. And what are we looking at? What's our next meeting?
After the vote, after the time.
Oh, 29th. Yeah, okay, second meeting on the 29th. Right, and, we had a motion and a second, and we discussed.
I don't think we had a motion.
Oh,
This is just a first reading.
we don't need a motion, right? Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, no memorial health policy. Who did the red line? Okay, all right. Okay. Here's where you see the,
This is also a first reading.
this is, I think, an amendment of the policy already here, first reading,
Well, it would be a revision.
a revision.
Is it a revision or a replacement?
It's not a replacement, it doesn't say that it is. I think.
Okay, revision. All right.
Are you okay with it, or do you want it to be replacement?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so this is revision.
Well, it says replace policy number 99-2.
Oh, it does.
This is 02-2024. Up at the top.
That was
Yeah.
from before when it was voted in by the previous board.
Oh, yeah.
So,
this is Chaz and
instead of an
Joe.
amendment, and it's a
Interesting.
revision now because the body of the policy is getting changed. having
Okay, so, we're all right.
attached amendment.
So we're not replacing, this is a revision. And then it would be 03/2025.
I wrote 4, because I think.
Oh, we're 04.
So
Sorry.
we're, yeah, so to replace number
Revision.
would change to the one that was voted in last time. I didn't change that one yet. So the 99 was from before, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that will be corrected. I'm good with the red line.
Does this
We need to
be-
read these.
Oh, we do?
Should I read? Other
Now I
revisions?
understand why the change was made to the email address.
Yes.
This is what I understand. It was changed from selectmen@townsendma.gov
Select board.
to select board. Okay. Actually, we need to go through and do this on everything,
Yeah.
don't we?
Yeah,
Let me just look at the one we just read. Is that updated as well?
I don't think that had,
Yes, it was. Okay,
yeah,
all right. So do you want to read it, Lauren?
I can.
Okay, because it's the first reading.
Okay. So, policy for use of Memorial Hall auditorium, there's a revision to policy number 99-2. All inquiries or requests for scheduling the use of
Madam
Memorial.
Chair, the revision is to the policy number that was voted in last time.
Oh, and this is not the right number?
It's 02/2024. So this is a revision to 02/2024.
Okay, all right. Let me start again. This is the first reading of the policy for use of Memorial Hall auditorium. It is policy number 02-2024, a revision to that, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. All inquiries or requests for scheduling the use of the Memorial Hall auditorium will be handled by the Select Board. To inquire about scheduling an event, call 978-597-1700, extension 1703, or submit a written request to the office of the Select Board, 272 Main Street, Townsend, Mass. 01469. Email selectboard@townsendma.gov. No more than 2 events may be scheduled in any one day. The auditorium is available Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, unless special arrangements are made. Town entities may use the auditorium. Do I have to do the cross out
No.
also in the reading?
No.
No, okay, so I'm gonna read it as it states we should. The auditorium 7 days a week if available. A calendar will be maintained for scheduling events. Events must conclude before midnight with cleanup completed no later than 1 a.m. Rental includes usage of 228 chairs available, 6 large white folding tables, as well as 6 short white folding tables. Memorial Hall capacity of number of person per certificate of inspection by story and by place of assembly location. Capacity chairs only 178. Capacity tables and chairs 83. Capacity standing only 250. Stage 30. Insurance. All individuals, groups renting the space shall procure and maintain for the duration of the rental period insurance against claims for injuries to persons or damages to property which may arise from or in connection with the rental of the facilities and the activities of the renter, license, their guests, agents, representatives, employees, or subcontractors. Licensee agrees to maintain all necessary insurance to protect itself against claims relating to use of the facilities. Licensee agrees to provide a certificate of insurance with coverage acceptable to the town prior to its use of the facility. Users shall maintain general liability with a $1 million minimum limit, a $2 million aggregate. The town shall be named as an additional insured on such policy, on such insurance policy. No changes to this insurance may occur within 10 days' notice to the town. Prior arrangements must be made with the facility department superintendent for all special services such as any use of decorations, special seating arrangements, special equipment as the projector, microphone, stage lights, etc., delivery and removal of equipment. The organization or individual wishing to rent the hall shall be sponsored by a Townsend resident or entity and complete an application for use of Memorial Hall with necessary waivers if applicable. The applicant responsible for all fees associated with use of the auditorium, which includes custodial services, are payable 1 week prior to the event and shall be charged as follows. Town boards, committees, departments, governmental use, no charge. Towns and nonprofits, community groups, $100 for the first 3 hours and $25 for any hour over that. Private events, $150 for the first 3 hours and $50 for any hour over that. Seems to be a little bit more in line, but then it is a bigger space. All departmental users are required to submit a $50 security deposit. Security deposit shall be destroyed after each event by the select board office, provided there are no damages to the town property attributable to the event and the premises were left in good condition as determined by the town. The user shall remain responsible for all damages above and beyond the amount of security deposit. Reservations shall be made on a first come basis. No reservations shall be considered until all forms, waivers, and security deposit have been received. A police detail may be required for events. Final determination based on the event and other factors will be made by the select board in conjunction with the chief of police. A 4-hour minimum detail with a minimum of 24-hour notice is required. The organization is required to arrange for the police detail and to pay the cost of same. If town property is damaged during the event, the security deposit shall be utilized by the town for the repairs. Any balance of the funds remaining in the security deposit after completion of repairs will be returned to the organization or individual. The organization or individual shall remain liable for and shall promptly pay to the town any repair costs in excess of the security deposit. Food and beverages may be served, but no alcoholic beverages or on-site food preparation is allowed. No smoking is allowed on the property or within the building. Additional parking is available at municipal parking lot off of Bank Terrace. The select board reserves the right to reject any and all applications. And that was this first reading. Text it. Is there a motion? No.
No, I don't. This is just a first reading.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Doing that.
So,
Discussion.
My only question is kind of on both of these policies, and this is the first reading. Is the, Gladfelder, is that the insurance company? Are they being notified of these changes? Didn't we talk about that
they
a few
were-
months
Once
ago?
it's changed.
What?
Then, yeah, once it's changed.
Once it's changed, so after the second reading.
Yeah, they were
Okay.
actually the ones to, suggest that we, have an insurance, requirement.
Clause.
Yeah,
For
okay.
rentals.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so second reading, Coming
So
up.
any changes for the second reading?
I didn't have any. I'm good with this.
I am not good with the $50 security deposit. I'm not.
That does seem
That-
a little low.
I'm just not.
But the fees itself were changed recently, right? You said
Yeah,
something
but
like
well, this one would be a little bit over a year ago, but for the amount of space, it's still very low. I'm okay with it per hour after,
Mm.
but I think that the initial fee is too low. And that the security deposit should match the fee. At minimum. Like, I think it should be 150 and 2, and that's still cheap.
Well, considering, we're changing the West County meeting room security deposit to 125, and that's a much smaller area. I mean,
Yeah,
they-
this-
Well,
higher.
we could change the security deposit. I'd be okay with that.
250?
I was gonna say 125 to match the,
No, it's a bigger space though, they're using more,
um,
chairs, tables, electric.
then I would go with
Everything more.
150.
For,
The security deposit.
and the fees,
I would leave the fees as is. These were just set a year ago.
how many times has the hall been used
Twice
in the year?
so far, yeah.
Private or nonprofit?
Private. It's not heavily advertised.
Yeah. Okay.
I do think that 50 is low if there's damage. That's what I think.
Yeah. And they're responsible for cleaning up. So hopefully it's cleaned up and there's no damage. But if it's not cleaned up and there is damage, that's nowhere near enough. All right.
So what the fee?
150. I think. I mean, you can disagree with me.
Well, I'm just trying to be sensible about it.
I'm trying, yeah, well,
So I'm okay. I'm gonna go with what you'll agree with.
okay,
Okay, so it's 150 on the security and the charges stay the
stay
same.
the same, yes.
And the next reading will be on April 19th, 29th. It wouldn't be on a Saturday anyway, so. All right, okay. So we did, 6. Okay, so, town administrator reports,
I do wanna, plug the, upcoming property auctions that's happening for the town-owned properties that, you know, we had, a town meeting agreed to, you know, sell. So that, auction is occurring on May 5th at, 12 o'clock, I believe. Let me just.
Yes, I have it right here.
Okay, yep, perfect, yep. So, Monday, May 5th at 12 o'clock, here in the, Selectmen's Chambers, I believe. And, the auction company involved is very, advertising it, through their, normal channels, to public outreach, so. We've used them in the past before, so we've had good luck with them, so we're hoping to, have another successful auction so that we can
Somebody.
get some money. It will be certified for free cash for, later this calendar year. Yeah, so we can maybe do some projects, and balance some deficits. So just wanted to plug that upcoming auction that's coming.
I believe it's in the Great Hall.
Oh, it's in the Great Hall, sorry, it just said second floor. So, yeah, it makes sense, I would be in the Great
Great,
Hall,
huh?
yeah.
The last time it wasn't the chambers, it was the grand.
Oh, got it.
Did you have a lot of people?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think I may try to attend.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be here. I didn't have it in my calendar, so I'll put it there.
Well, that's good, now
Um,
you know about it.
Okay.
What else?
And
I think,
tomorrow night's prom?
yeah, so I think everything is all set from a presentation perspective. I've spoken to David TCAM, he's reached out to his counterparts in Pepperell. They'll be assisting with the setup and the recording of everything. I've coordinated things with the staff over at the high school. So I think we should be all set. I am still finalizing the presentation itself. So I've added a few things here and there. So I'll continue working on that tomorrow. And I think we should be good to go. I do plan to do most of the talking. Irene will be doing a quick presentation on sort of the curbside trash program. And I have a few slides regarding that too. So I think she'll be repeating some of the things I've said, but she's also gonna sort of add her spin to it as well. I think last week's meeting is gonna be a similar presentation. to
Okay.
that.
It's very informative. Valerie from the library?
Oh, so, yeah, I think we decided that, they wouldn't make a separate presentation. And, she had a good point.
Did you get to see this?
Yeah.
That was sent out?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very informative.
Yep.
So, thank you to the library for doing that.
I think it was a friend of the
Friends of
library.
the library.
Yeah. So, Valerie and, the trustees, they will be there. If any questions come up, they'll answer it, but I think them making a separate presentation, they've declined that too.
Who's that?
Friends of the library.
Oh, I
the
see.
Trustees.
Okay.
So I will, in my PowerPoint presentation, I'll be sort of advocating and speaking on behalf of all the various town departments. Services they provide, even though I won't necessarily be hitting on every single service that each department provides, because that might take all night. So it's just sort of the high level services that, each department provides. I'll be,
But they were invited to be on hand.
correct. Yeah, it's not mandatory, but if a question were to come up, it would be nice, for someone in that department to be able to speak about it, if I'm not able to. But I didn't necessarily make attendance mandatory or make it requirement. So, I'll certainly do my best, and I think we will as well, to advocate for all departments, because every department is just as important as the other one. So, yeah, and then, we'll go straight into the question and answer portion of the I anticipate our presentation to be 30 to 40 minutes tops. And then Irene's is probably 5 to 7 minutes, so I think we'll be done within 45 minutes. And then the rest of the time will be for question and answers. I think there'll be a microphone on both aisles, so people can just sort of line up and John will moderate. That.
How long do we have the auditorium for?
I think I put in for 10 hours, but I think if it went
10?
I mean, not 10 hours, ending at 10, sorry, ending at 10. So
Okay.
I think 10 should be more than enough time, but I suppose it went over,
Okay.
high school let us.
When are we going there? When are we meeting there?
Well, it starts at 7. I plan to be there a little bit early just to get the lay of the land, talk to the folks who are setting things up. So I'm probably gonna be there 6:15, just to make sure everything is, working. Yeah, like I said, just to get the lay of the land.
Anything else?
Nope, I think tomorrow I'll just, be, buttoning up the presentation, practicing a little bit. Yeah.
Liaison reports?
I have none.
Okay. I will just, see if I'm not hearing from a lot of people. But planning board last night, warrant articles are all set.
Excellent.
We had the public hearing and we had a couple of attendees that asked questions that we basically been asked before, and I think you've been spoke to this person as well. And I think everybody, I think that she understood that hers was on the acreage decrease to the 1 acre.
Mm.
And everybody on the board just went with, we have the departments that take care of that. We do the planning. The departments that issue the permits are the building inspector, the board of health, and the water department and highway. They're the ones that are gonna say yay or nay. And I use the example because you seem not to be convinced.
I'm not, but it's fine.
Of the 5.5 acre parcel that has wetlands, that has actually lots of restrictions, and has a failed Title V, and has to remove the current system because there is no place else on the 5.5 acres that it will go. Now, when you have an acre lot or a quarter acre lot, which they talked about last night, most of Main Street is. The only difference is, and it was not brought up, but the only difference is that most of Main Street does have public water. But if you're on an acre sandy soil with a well, you will get a good septic system in, and you should get, and there's no conservation.
No, you have to have town water to do a 55 and over.
Oh, 55 and over. Yes, for that it's town water.
Are you talking about MBTA communities?
No, we're not even there.
No, okay,
We're
all
just
right.
talking about the warrant
55 and
article.
over. You
But you're
have
right.
to have
It's
town
the
water.
55 and over. Okay, so it is town water. And that's, if you have good soil, you can build
For 55 and over.
55 and over. That's this one. The other hasn't changed yet, but it's really, snob zoning was brought up. It wasn't my words, but it was somebody else on. And the town has been through it. And because of it, we don't have the growth that we should have had by now, but most of the country's like that anyway. So we should be fine on those articles, is what I'm saying. And I don't think I have any other one to really report on. I can't wait till we have a third person. So we can split it up more. 5.3. announcements. We have a letter on April 9th. With Selectman from Gary Shepherd, Fire Chief. Food time, Mathis. Is that the first name?
I think it's Austin. I think there's
Oh,
a letter
Austin.
missing.
Okay, Austin Mathis has submitted his resignation from the Townsend Fire Department effective April 8th, 2025. And attaches a copy of his retirement notice. Oh, it is Austin. Well, we thank him for his service. And another letter, April 11th, 2025, Board of Selectmen, from the Historic District Commission. Julia Stockwell has submitted her resignation from the Townsend Historic District Commission effective April 10th, 2025, at the close of the April 10th, 2025 HDC meeting. Attaches a copy of the retirement notice.
Retirement.
For all her service. Am I supposed to read the chapter section?
No, it's just
Oh,
an announcement.
It's just, this is how they resign. So, thank you to Julie Stockwell as well for all your years of service. And I will use this forum then to say there are plenty of volunteer positions. There are still several elected positions that will be vacant on April 28th when you're voting. So please encourage people to either write themselves in, tell their friends what they would like to do, and have them write you in so that these positions can be filled. I've also talked to people a lot about volunteering, and one of them happens to be a tech guy, and he let me know today that he did fill in his form. I sent you the name online, so I don't know if, and I didn't ask him again because this was like last week when we were talking, and when I got done with an issue today, he said, "Oh, by the way, I did fill out the volunteer form." And he said, "I didn't know exactly what to put, but he wrote a cover letter with it saying that he would like to do anything." He's very into civics. He worked for Senator Cronin, I guess on the campaign, and he's a senior at North Middlesex.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see more of them coming up, getting involved is what we need.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I think that will bring us to 5.4, which is going to be, or I don't know, however we were switching this around, but I switched the 4.3 to now being the end of the meeting, and this is the warrant.
Yep.
And this is going to take us a little bit of time, so
Is the
it's all
warrant
yours.
in? Did we get a copy of the warrant?
I have a copy that's 18 pages anyway. I don't have the latest.
Sabrina, did you,
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, thank you.
so, yeah, so as you know, there's the special town meeting that's embedded within the annual town meeting. This year's special town meeting articles are pretty light because usually they're free cash articles, and since we don't have any really free cash left, it's going to be
This is not going to be spent.
yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty light, special town meeting, so, we probably should just go over that first. Oh, I did wanna add, I had an idea that, you know, of not having town meeting here in town hall. You know, in past years, it's been at a school, which, provides more parking, more accessibility. Typically, the auditoriums are even bigger as well, so you will end up fitting more folks. I think in the past, this was actually the overflow room when, Memorial Hall got full. So, I've been working behind the scenes to see if we can have annual town meeting at the high school auditorium. Spoke to John Barrett this morning, he was okay with that.
Yeah.
I think, it being
Does the high school have it available?
they do, and I'm gonna work, I still need to talk to the person directly to see if it's, what that would take, but, all indications point to it being available. So, I'm gonna work on that to see if we can have it at the high school
Okay.
this year. I just think given it's, an override year, I think, we may end up seeing more folks than normal attending town meeting to really listen and vote on the budget. So, I want, a large enough space to accommodate.
Mhm. And the same kind of layout with the mics on either side.
Yeah, I'll need to work out the details with like location wise where the mics would be if Dave at T can. But we can work that out, in the coming weeks. I just want to make sure, the space is available. So I should be able to button that up sometime tomorrow.
Are you good with that, Veronica?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's right.
So, and I think the auditorium does hold, more people as well. I forget the capacity, but certainly more than.
Oh, it's bigger than here.
So plenty of parking, and I think the sound system is, more advanced than what we currently have, so I think, people in the back can probably hear better than here, here at the Great Hall.
Oh, we'll have a dry run tomorrow night.
That's right,
We will.
that's right, yeah, it will be practice.
Okay.
So at the moment, the Warren article doesn't have the high school auditorium as the address,
Okay.
but, like I said, I think by tomorrow I'll have that buttoned up.
When does this have to be posted?
This has to be posted,
Next week.
next week, next Tuesday at the latest.
Okay.
So between now and then, I'm gonna have Adam look at it. I already sent him sort of, the draft version over the weekend for him to at least take a look at. There hasn't really been a lot of changes since then. He's just reviewing it for form, legal form. He's not really looking at necessarily,
And what you sent him has the planning board?
It did not, so I need to send a separate email to him, and I told him as much that,
He's approved them all.
yep, so it
Those
should,
three were his.
so it should be a very light lift for those 3 articles.
Okay.
So yeah, so just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention before we dive into things.
Okay.
So in terms of, special town meeting articles, the first one is pretty standard. We, voted to hear any reports from boards, committees, or commissions. Pretty standard. And then we go into the,
What page, I see this one is headed special. So what page do you start the rest after the special?
I think I need to print this one for you. Let me just do that right now.
Is that different from what I have?
I think what I had given you, I hadn't separated them out yet.
Okay,
So I'm gonna print.
all right. Thank you.
We can just toss that in here.
Well, this is just special.
Correct.
Oh,
And, you know, if I miss something, we can obviously add to it later. That's why we're kind of having the discussion. So yeah, the first one, we're just voting to hear reports from various boards, committees, or commissions. And then we're gonna go into the actual financial articles, and we're gonna be transferring them from free cash to cover the snow and ice deficit.
Do we have enough?
Oh, we don't have free cash.
Well, we have a little bit. And what's interesting is the highway superintendent came to me this morning. You know, there was a storm over the weekend, which
Yeah.
we did end
And they
up.
were out.
Yep, we ended up spending some money. But highway ended up finding a salt invoice that they had it slipped through the cracks. So, and they were notified by the vendor that where's payment. So looked it up. Turns out it was a legitimate expense. So the snow and ice deficit is actually at 307,704.
And we don't have the money for that.
Is that gonna change in this article?
I'm gonna increase it a little bit, but I guess what it comes down to is there's actually not enough free cash to cover the full deficit. So what we'll have to do towards the end of the fiscal year is either do a municipal transfer, or you know, we will talk to the finance committee and see if they can vote to cover the deficit partly or entirely by their reserve fund.
So what will the motion look like for this?
So the amount that I'm gonna have to adjust it to is just it's gonna be 291,600.
From
Oh,
free
that's what it
cash?
says.
Yep.
And then it will be,
Yes.
Quick question, the bill for the salt, is that included in that number?
Yes.
The bill for the salt would be in the bad bills article, separate article for that bill.
that's what I was gonna say.
Oh,
But
If it was from last fiscal year.
no, it was from this
oh,
year.
this fiscal
Yeah, it was
year,
this
but
year.
it
It was
slipped
just
through the
like,
cracks.
it was just a few months ago, like earlier in the winter season.
I think we have to think about this, because if the motion is to take from free cash, and you have to say where you're taking the money from, is my understanding.
Yeah,
If we're gonna say from free cash, we can't say any more than the free cash that we have.
Correct.
And so the bill remaining, because it's snow and ice, has to be handled somehow in another article,
okay.
I think, but check on that.
But if it's the current bill, it would need to go to the town meeting or not.
It's
You
just
can't
that
take
it's
it from
snow and
free cash.
ice.
Well, yeah, there's not enough. So that's why I was saying the bill needs to be paid because it's
Yeah.
during this fiscal year. So I think the only two viable options is to do a municipal transfer towards the end of the fiscal year, or request make a request to the finance committee to do a transfer from their reserve fund, or the other one. Actually, there's a third option I forgot to mention, and I did think about it this morning, is it's like we would just reclass it if we would reclass some of the snow and ice expenses if there was sufficient money in the highway expenses budget.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's just hope there's no more snow between now and May.
So if that's the case, does then the highway department find where to get the money in their budget? That's
and,
maybe, that
yeah,
they can,
that is one option, but if they're kind of running on fumes towards the end, then we would have to do those two, choice options that I mentioned, which is a municipal fund transfer from other parts of the operating budget, or,
other than highway.
correct.
Oh,
Or, putting a request to the finance committee to use some of their, reserve
Emergency.
fund to, to cover the difference.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
all right.
um,
So that's not the number that's gonna be in there,
uh,
because you're stating from free cash
well,
in the motion. That's,
yeah, the 20,
will there be two motions then, under that warrant article?
no, this is,
One for the 250 and one for the remainder?
what 250 were you
You
referring?
mean the 291.6?
I mean. Oh, yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because there's no free cash.
And I left a few dollars in, free cash. I think it was like, let me just see what that is. I left $54 in there. I didn't want
Well, that's good.
to spend every penny. I know my math is correct, but nonetheless, I didn't want to completely drain it to the penny. Like, I'd rather just leave a few dollars in there. So that's I would say the big, article for the special town meeting. It's not, I gotta delete that header, it's not zoning bylaws and adoptions. It's a capital expense. Actually, I don't know,
What is that?
no, it's the wrong header, that's why I need to get rid of that.
It's not a zoning bylaw. It's a financial article.
Yeah, and I forget what the,
I think these are majority, but I'm not certain. I'll leave that up to you and Adam.
Or John Barrett?
I
Well,
think
no.
no, Adam would definitely know.
Yeah.
I think it is a capital financial article. But I'll double check to see what it's.
Whether it's the majority or the 2/3.
Correct.
Right.
So the first one, and by the way, we kind of had already discussed all this at a prior select board meeting when we were voting on what capital projects to do for
Yeah.
the next fiscal year.
Yeah.
So, the first one, there's a list of 3 old articles that, we've decided could be repurposed, for other projects. So these 3 would total to 53,784.74.
And those line items go away.
Correct.
Once you do this.
They'll be zeroed out, and then there'll be a new line for the 53 and change. And the purpose of that amount would be for the Memorial Hall exterior renovations, including trim, painting, and storm windows. And this should be pretty close to the amount that we had in mind for the project. We might need to come up with a few dollars ourselves, but I don't think it's a ton of money. And then the last one that I have is closing out those 3 projects listed that total 26,329.20. And then we're gonna zero out those projects and put that amount towards the capital stabilization account.
These are all fire articles, right?
Yes, and the chief was here that
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
and
I was here.
Yep,
Yeah.
he okayed,
March 18th, I think, was
Yeah.
the meeting.
he okayed everything, so. And as far as I can tell, those are the only articles for the special town meeting. Now, when we go over the annual town meeting articles, maybe you feel like there's one that can be shifted to special town meeting, so I'm okay with that. That's what we're here for, just to make those changes.
You said going back to, what did you say?
Capital stabilization.
Okay, yeah,
It was actually,
okay. I thought I had to write it over. Okay. I know they've used a lot of that. Do we know what the balance is there now? Capital stabilization
87,000 and some odd. It's on
without the 26?
without the 26, yes.
Right. But there's gonna be articles at the annual town meeting that's gonna eat into that amount.
Of course.
So it's good to me.
So if those changes, then this part, the special can be.
And, you know, after we're done, we'll make the motion to, you know, sign a session contingent on, you know, town council approval and, so how would we account for, because I'm still working on it, there's still some things I need to finalize. How do we work that into the motion?
Or
Work what is the motion?
Well, the articles that you see here, I'm gonna have to tweak some of it. Really, it's really the dollar figures on certain, articles.
I would just say, 4 articles for special town meeting, as discussed pending town council review.
But would that take into account any changes that I end up making between now and then?
What changes would you make?
Uh,
Just the amount for free cap,
No, it
for
would-
snow and ice?
It would be, some articles in the annual town meeting, and it's mainly,
Let's go to the
Well, we
annual
haven't
town
gone
meeting
there
and
yet.
talk to it
right, yeah,
first.
And we
Okay.
can talk about if it should be in here or not.
Yeah,
okay. So what you had, I think, before should be the bulk of everything else. The order might be a little bit jumbled, but, you know, we'll just mark it up as we go along.
Okay, so this is the annuals. Oh, that says special on top.
Yeah, so don't worry about the,
the first page.
yeah, but the first article, similar to the special town meeting, is, vote to hear, reports from boards, committees and commissions.
That's the first article?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, no, the first one is to see if the town will vote to
no, I think
authorize.
it's on page 1 there.
Yeah, but that's here too.
Yeah, that's fine, it's just, it's,
Not in order?
I'm used to it always being only on the annual town meeting, but apparently last year it was on both.
it was, Yeah.
So the article to hear the reports of boards, committees or
It's only on
commissions,
one of the meetings.
in my
The
earlier
annual.
experience had only been on the annual.
Yeah,
But
Yes, not in the
apparently it was on the special and the annual last year. I don't know.
is there a reason for
I
that?
guess it doesn't hurt, but I don't know.
yeah, I looked at it, and what was posted, for the annual and special had that same article on both of them.
On both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
But only last year.
I didn't go back, 2 years ago, I was just sort of going off of what
Yeah.
happened.
Probably people.
I don't think it
remember
hurts.
hearing it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts.
Yeah.
So I'm good either way.
Let me see here.
Cause you're doing special votes. You're gonna open the meeting. And I think you hear the special votes in the beginning, you don't go right to special, do you? Or do
You
adjourn
open the
right away?
annual and then you,
Open,
I don't know, I won't use the right word. And people are, judging my words, so, but anyway, then you move to the special town meeting and then adjourn the special and come back to the annual. So whatever the term for that is.
okay,
And usually you open the annual and then ask to go to the special and then come back to the annual.
then you only need to see if the town will vote to hear reports once.
Yeah,
That
Once.
you can ask John or Adam,
yeah,
they will know.
Okay,
yeah, but I figured it was better safe than sorry because it was done last year.
I'm just thinking of is there a difference between hearing the reports prior to certain special things you gotta vote on? So there's gonna be different reports when we get cause you adjourn the special.
I think it's possible, and that's why it's better safe than sorry. Because you may hear reports in the special town meeting, because in past years, when there have been free cash articles, certain departments may need to speak on that.
But this all comes before, the reports come before you go into the articles. It's not a discussion after a motion.
Right. Mm.
I just check on that, that's
Okay.
all.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
Um,
not a big deal.
Typically, the special town meeting is so that you can get financials done in the current fiscal year, in fiscal year 2025.
Right.
Everything that's in the annual town meeting is July 1st on. So the reason to do things, and usually it's financial stuff that needs to happen in the fiscal year 2025.
right.
That's all.
Okay. All right. So I think we were hoping to get some of so I think in past years, bylaws have always been at the end.
Mhm.
Not a good idea.
So I'm okay with switching it up. It's not gonna take any more or less time when you do things out of order, so it doesn't really matter to me. So if that's the case, then I think maybe the first big article that we discuss is the age restricted one.
So you're gonna do the zoning bylaws first.
Yeah. And the budget last, as the last article.
I'm good with
We wanna
that,
keep a form.
right? So,
So, so if you wanna mark it up in terms of keeping track of the order at the moment.
okay, so,
Sabrina, that's your job.
are you gonna do things, okay, before you get to the planning board, are you gonna do, authorize to, make appointments? Are you gonna do that stuff, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
just,
That's pretty easy.
Like preliminaries, whatever you would
Okay,
usually
so-
see.
let's talk about the order of
Okay.
the articles. So what's Article 1? The reports?
Yeah.
Article 2 is,
We can do appointing the people.
okay,
Um, And then I guess we could go right into the bylaws.
okay, so then Article 3, how many planning board bylaws are there?
3.
So it's the FEMA floodplain,
Wait, hold on, let me just add my order, so
okay,
I'm not scrolling back and forth. We'll just say the first one is the age restricted development.
okay. Article 3 is age restricted.
Article 4 would be the zoning map adoption. Article 5 would be floodplain.
The zoning map and the floodplain are two separate things?
They are.
They are.
Correct. The map one is just to adopt the map itself.
Yes,
And then the floodplain actually has a bunch of language that,
this is the law.
I thought we weren't changing zones.
Zones?
What's the zoning map? Okay, never mind.
I mean,
Let's just
our
keep
regular-
going.
It's our regular map that now includes the flood areas.
Okay, so does order matter? Which one are we doing first?
I don't think it matters because the floodplain article is the law
yeah,
that we have to adopt,
there's actually a lot
that
of,
the state is mandating.
Okay,
The map is to update our maps.
to match that law.
Correct,
So should we
For
do the
floodplain.
FEMA floodplain
I
map
think. I
first
think.
and then the zoning bylaw? Okay, or the zoning map. Okay. All right, whatever the order is, Adam will know. Okay,
And he will.
so, zoning. Okay, so that was, so now we're on Article 6, which, could be the standard, revolving fund spending limits.
okay.
Oh, that reminds me, I'm sorry, is that a separate article to add the revolving fund?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
you can put it either before or after. I would put it after, I think. I think that's how it was done in the past. But
Let's see where that is.
again, that's a town council question.
That was-
Should be up higher. It should be right after the revolving accounts, I thought. I don't have what you have, so.
Okay, I'll make sure that,
So Article 7 is the new revolving account.
yes, correct. 7,
And that mirrors the police public records requests. But it's for town hall public records requests.
correct.
What I see is that this floodplain law is the seven pages.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're gonna have to take the town hall public records requests out of the table for Article 6. Because it's gonna be covered in Article 7.
Yep, I thought I had done that somewhere.
I thought you did too.
Yeah, all right, I'll make sure it's there. Okay, so that's number 7, so number 8 shouldn't be the omnibus.
No, I thought it was the Prop 2.5.
Yeah, we'll leave that to the end, so. Let's see. So number 8, we could do, the salary and compensation for elected officials, basically the town clerks.
We have to do that after the omnibus because we set that in the omnibus.
Oh, okay, got it, that makes sense. So,
It's always the
after
article
budget.
right after the budget,
and the water department is before or after the omnibus?
after.
Okay, so then let's go to, can we even do capital, at the moment, because the lease, the cruisers,
The capital goes after the omnibus.
okay, got it. We could do we do the 6-wheel jump,
No, you have to do Article 8.
okay,
Which articles come after the omnibus? So obviously it's not. gonna be
Usually
the
it's set the salary for elected officials, then usually it's capital. You can do water enterprise. Usually it's capital and then any water articles.
All right, so we'll table that. PEG access, we can do that before everything else though, right?
No, because that's in the omnibus as well, sort of. PEG access is usually before the planning board articles
Mhm.
is where PEG access usually is.
Well, but that's already money that's in their account, so it doesn't have anything to do with the budget per se.
Only the recap.
Right,
Um,
so,
is that in SharePoint?
yeah, we're in SharePoint. And, we can always look at last year's town meeting as, template. So PEG access was towards the end. So yeah, I think the order that I have it now is pretty standard.
There's a couple of things that will come before the omnibus, and that will be the CPA.
No, CPA is at the end, that's a bylaw.
We're not gonna put the bylaws at the end.
Oh, we're gonna do the CPA bylaw. Okay, so that means we have to add an article. Article 6 then is not the revolving funds. Article 6 is the CPA bylaw.
And then what about, the citizens petition for the changing the number of the select board? That should come before the omnibus as well.
Okay, then we can do that as Article 7, I guess.
This is why I didn't
I don't
number
have anything
anything.
here.
What's that?
I don't have any order of anything in the papers I have. So I don't know what to do with.
I just,
I probably should have put it on a spreadsheet and we just monkeyed around with that. Sabrina, are you keeping track at the moment? Or?
Trying.
Can we
Okay.
just, can we just put all the special is one thing, then we put all the financial stuff at the bottom and all the other stuff we have to do for bylaws and change in policy, whatever that is. Do that first and then go to financial.
here's the devil's advocate here. Okay? So we do all those first. There's a lot of discussion. We never get to the budget because it's midnight and everybody is arguing back and forth about all the planning bylaws. That assumes that all the planning bylaws are going to pass. And that's fine if that's the way we want to do it. But I think we have to, because sometimes all those bylaws take a long time to talk out. And so I guess the question is, do we want to weight it towards the planning bylaws and the zoning bylaws and all the bylaws first?
The thing is,
And
that
then
all of
do
these
the-
basically have had public hearings.
That
If people are
doesn't-
interested in the bylaws, they should be checking that as well as the budget.
Well, just like the budget has had months and months of meetings.
Yeah.
And nobody looked at it until the special town meeting in March. So, it's the same difference. So I guess, I don't mind putting the planning things first.
2 or 3 nights for, annual meeting.
And we may still. We just may not get to the budget stuff on the first day.
Right.
Which is, if that's what we want to do, then we put all the planning stuff first. Maybe it'll encourage people not to, I don't know, I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do is good
The
with
thing is,
me.
we can't keep doing the bylaws for last and then quorum leaves.
Right, and so then you have
Because
it
they are
on
only
another
interested
day.
in the budget or the school budget or whatever. But their
I see what
interest
you're
is
saying.
over, so they leave. And then a quorum is called. So I don't think that that is in the best interest of the town as a whole.
It's just a different way to do it. I mean, so we can do the planning stuff first, so it would be however we want to do it. It's good with me. But looking at these bylaws, the ones that need to stay till after the budget passes is the one that sets elected officials' salaries. So that stays here. I'm trying to get through this omnibus budget here in this SharePoint thing, because we don't have it in hard
We
copy
only have one
exactly the
elected
same.
official, right?
Only one
That gets
elected.
paid.
The other people that get paid are not elected, really, they're appointed, and that's the election workers.
Okay.
So anyway, it just sets all salaries to
Okay.
fix the salaries and compensation, and you don't want to do that until after you've done the
Right.
budget. All right, then there's the water enterprise.
Mhm.
All right, and then there's the capital, these, and, 2 capital articles. One from other sources and one from borrowing. So we can take out the one where that joins together the Memorial Hall, that can go away. And the ones that join together the old capital planning that we've put in special town meeting. So those go away. And that leaves us with PEG access and the 2 HERO Act. And we are removing the citizen petition for a 5-member board up to the front.
With the bylaws
Okay,
as policy.
I'm good
Bureau
with
has
that.
to do with money, so
That comes after the
Yeah.
omnibus budget. Okay,
that's not all over the place.
The citizens petition will be after the zoning bylaws.
correct.
Mhm.
And before the revolving funds. And then we need a new revolving fund article.
And that's after the budget.
No, that is
That's after the regular revolving fund.
right.
Oh,
I have Article 6, CPA bylaw, and Article 7, citizen petition.
what do you have for CPA?
6, that's right after the plane and fire.
Yes, I agree with you. Article 8 then is the revolving funds. Article 9 is the new revolving fund. Article 10 is the Prop 2.5. Article 11 is the omnibus. Article 12, let me get through this, is the fixing the salaries of elected officials. To fix salaries and compensation of elective officers.
That's 12.
Mhm.
Hero 13.
No.
Water.
13 is the
Oh,
water
13,
department. Down to water. I don't have it here.
I don't either.
Is water,
I have it in here.
yeah, Article 14 is the, capital plan with highway facilities, police, and water. What number was that? 13?
14.
14?
Water is 13.
Okay. 15 is the, plow. Borrowing. The next article would be, there's something else that needs to, there's other stuff, the PEG access, but before PEG access, don't we need 10,000 for the, periodic inspections and property data? Where is that?
Assessors.
The assessors?
We can do that
That's a
after,
yearly.
capital.
After capital, I would do that after capital.
Okay.
Is that 15?
16, I think.
Capital is 14. So is plow 15?
Plow is
borrowing.
15. 16 is the,
Assessors?
assessors. 17 is PEG access.
Mhm.
18 is Hero 1. 19 is Hero 2.
Did someone tell me what the first few are? First is
What's
report.
17?
First is reports.
Yep.
Second is appointing.
Yep.
Sometimes those are reversed, but it can go either way.
Yep.
Third is age restricted.
Yep.
Fourth is adopting the law for FEMA floodplain. And 5 is the zoning map,
Okay.
accepting the zoning map.
1 second while I change that order here. Okay.
6 is the CPA bylaw.
That's right, that's the one I was messing up. CPA. Okay. And then 7 is
Citizen petition.
8 is the regular revolving.
9 is the new revolving.
Yep.
10 is Prop 2.5.
Mhm.
11 is the omnibus budget. 12 is setting the salaries.
Mhm.
Okay, 13 is water department.
Mhm.
14 is Capital 1.
Yep.
15 is the snowplow, Capital 2. 16 is the assessors. 17 is PEG access.
Yep.
18 is Hero 1.
Yep.
19 is Hero 2.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it.
Is that it?
I have it too.
I think we all have it, yeah.
That's why I didn't want to number anything, because I knew we were just gonna completely change everything.
Okay, so to your first statement, should anything come out of the annual to go into the special?
No,
Okay.
Okay.
no, because that's all of those are fiscal year 2026 things.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless, yeah, it's all fiscal year 2026. None of it is fiscal year 2025. The two capital that are in 25 are combining of articles that already exist to put money into stabilization and to allow facilities to start the work before July 1st on the town hall,
Right.
which gives
Yeah.
you more time to do things when the weather's nice.
So, my point earlier about making changes between now and when we, do a final review and sign it. The water department, I'm actually meeting with Dave on Thursday morning to finalize that number. So it's not gonna be final until after I meet with him. I don't think the numbers can change all that much, but we do expect some changes. So, so the question is, how would we, word the motion to take into account those changes? You know, could we just say, contingent upon select board review? Would that be sufficient?
Those numbers, no, the numbers that are in the warrant can be changed in the motion that's made on the floor.
That is true, but.
And that's typically what we've
Yeah,
done.
right.
Yeah,
That number is frequently an estimate.
yeah, I agree.
And many are changed.
And I do wanna, it as, you know, as solid a number as possible.
Well, absolutely, but it is frequently a, let me find the article. Yeah, I mean, this is it frequently changes on the floor.
Yeah, because it does say, there's a caveat like, or any other sum, you know, there's always that.
That's why it's in the warrant that way.
Yeah, correct.
And then the motions are specific.
Correct.
So,
Okay, but I think, what we have here is all the, you know.
I don't see any other articles being added, if that's what you're saying.
Well, now that you bring it up, I can't think of anything that we left out.
Everything, right, and everything had to be in weeks ago. Lori,
For the changing number, should there be, just a request for a placeholder for the number, or?
no, we typically put a number in.
Yeah,
You need to have a number in the warrant.
There's a
For each
number,
article.
Yeah,
there is a dollar amount, but I do think that talking to Dave is gonna change slightly, but I don't think it's gonna change that much. But
I think it would be wonderful if why not.
I'm not sure yet. I'll have to
Okay.
get together with him, to get the final number. But yeah, I think, this is it, you know, 19 articles for the annual town meeting. Is it 3 or 4 for the special? So,
3, I think it's 3, or is it 4, if you include the 4, it's snow and ice, and the 2
yeah, so
combining
4.
warrant articles.
So,
So, and then if you do, the reports.
Yeah.
That makes it 4. So
Yep.
it's a short special town meeting.
so yeah, that's what I had for the annual town meeting. Thank you for
All right,
moving things around, you know, I like the teamwork.
all right, so I'm looking at this, how are we gonna? I move that we approve the special town meeting warrant and the annual town meeting warrant. With the ordering as presented during this meeting, contingent upon town council review, and to sign both warrants out of session.
Second. Any further discussion?
I have none.
Joanne? Roll call.
Veronica Kell, yes.
And Laura Schiffern, yes. Thank you. Thank you for your hard work.
I worked on it all over the weekend. Luckily, it was kind of a crummy weekend.
That's
So
true.
it was actually, okay working, like, inside.
Yeah.
Okay, so 5.4, our next meeting is April 16th, 7 PM, budget override public forum. Why is there green?
It's fun to read the green.
But there. it
Our
says-
next regular
There will be
meeting,
a April 22nd meeting as well.
there will,
It's not 24, if there's a April 22nd.
I'm not here.
I don't think there's a need for one.
if we've signed the warrant out of session, there's really
No need.
Right. And plus, you can actually,
I can do virtual if you need me, but
no, well, I mean, yours can actually even be stamped. I checked on that.
for what?
The warrant articles.
They have to be posted on the 22nd. The 21st is a holiday, so there will be no posting on the 21st. It'll be on the
Well, would it
22nd.
be ready on Friday?
It's up to Adam, he needs to review everything. So,
Okay,
but what I'm saying is.
you sent it to him already,
Yeah,
except you just don't have the numbers on it.
well, I didn't send him the planning board ones, but like you said, he looked at all of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
yesterday. So I think it's I sent it to him on Sunday just to give him ample time, because I think he's actually gonna be away for a day or two this week.
Okay,
It's
he was
really,
with us last night, he was at the public hearing.
right, but I think he has some time off coming up this week.
Okay,
But regardless,
okay,
signing out of session, you can also use your stamp if you're not allowed.
okay,
So you just give us the final blessing and,
Right. as long as I can see it before.
so we'll do that on Tuesday.
Okay.
Is Monday an actual holiday for Townsend here?
Yes, it's Patriots Day.
Oh, it's Massachusetts holiday.
So-
Yeah, and it is, town hall is closed in Kathy, so if we're going to meet on the 22nd, we have to post on Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't anticipate us meeting on next Tuesday, so. Yeah. But, that's,
If you
I actually didn't think Monday was a holiday for us. Woo-hoo.
if you think, that we may need to meet before, the annual town meeting,
Well, we're meeting on the 29th.
that's after.
No,
No,
that's
that's
after
There's
for
the-
the election.
there's town election.
Oh, okay,
I don't think we need to meet
No,
before the town election.
we don't.
It's a nice break, actually.
No, we don't.
Yeah, I don't think we need to meet next
No.
week.
So as long as I see the warrant.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, once it's ready,
Understand.
I'll obviously send it to you guys to give it a final look through.
okay,
But at that point, town council will review it,
okay.
so.
And I appreciate you agreeing with the, layout.
Oh,
The
yeah, it's
articles.
fine. It just means that we could have to have
Yeah.
a second meeting that week
I think it
to
may happen
do the
either way.
budget.
You would have to have it to have the, planning board.
Yeah.
Articles, or any of the bylaw articles, because people will leave after the budget. So. So we're trying it.
So we need to tentatively reserve, if we're using the high school, both the 6th and the 8th.
So I've never,
I never thought about that earlier.
so is that, I assume that's allowed even though the posting of the warrant is only for,
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah,
You continue the annual meeting. It's
to
a
another
vote.
day.
Yeah, it would be up to the town moderator
Yeah.
to continue it.
Or-
And they continue it to.
so it could be the following night or some other night?
Yeah,
Okay,
he knows how to do it.
okay, and
He's been through it before.
has that happened? in past
Oh, yeah.
years?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
oh, yeah. Used to happen a lot. Years ago, it was every year, that's what it was. We're going to a second night or a third night.
So this is crazy, and this is kind of an aside. I used to work in Arlington, and their town meetings were about 9 days long.
Oh my
2 or 3 hours each night.
Yeah,
They had like 50, 60, 70 articles,
how big a town?
45,000 people.
Oh, well,
But no, literally, it would go on for like 9 or 10 nights.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever went past 3 in my time here.
But
I don't
But we
remember
have been to
past
3.
I was kind of
Yeah,
shocked when
I
I
know
heard
we've
it
been
when I
to
worked
3.
there. But yeah, 9 or 10 nights, and each night is 2 or 3 hours long. That's a lot.
Well, sometimes people need to talk and it takes a long time to get stuff done.
I guess.
So, no matter how much you prepare them.
So when I talked to the high school, AV director tomorrow about reserving the auditorium for the annual town meeting. I'll mention that it might,
We might need a second.
We
Second,
may need a
right.
continuance.
And I guess I'll mention the following night as, or even the next day.
There used to be 2 nights in a row, there used to be.
What did you say?
To check with John Barrett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's varied. Sometimes it's the next night, sometimes it's 2 nights,
Right.
sometimes it's the
Next
next
week.
week.
Yeah,
It's varied, so it's hard to say, and I don't know what the variable has been. Sometimes you don't get out until 1 AM.
Yeah, I've been there too.
So it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much John's call, I think.
yeah.
So you might want to talk to him.
Okay. Okay,
All right, I'm ready for 5.5.
I make a motion to review and sign payroll and bills payable warrants out of session.
Second. Any discussion?
No,
Hearing none, vote.
Veronica Cal, aye.
Or Sharon. And executive session, is there a motion?
I move to enter into and adjourn from executive session pursuant to open meeting law, chapter 30A, section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body. Clerical union, supervisors union, highway water union, police union, and fire union.
And I second. And discussion?
Yeah.
Okay. Vote.
Veronica Cal, aye.
And Laura Schiff and I. And did your motion include to adjourn from executive?
Yes,
Okay.
at the beginning.